Alright, let's get started. Welcome everyone. It is really cold here today. So, yes. It is freezing. Right now, it is 11 outside. It's not that far off being inside. So, yeah, it's rather cold. I have both the heater on and my computer, and I'm hoping it warms up this room. So yeah, we can only hope. So, getting into this, where were we last time? I'm not running this thing. Let me just turn down my volume. All right, we're gonna go localhost onto here. I will jump over into dark admin. We don't have anything set up for this yet. GDPR wizard. All right, so on the weekend, what I've done is I've set up the ability to grab the org data and the user data. However, that was just a bug. Once again, we'll go through this properly. We're going to get the minimal viable product up before we go through and sort of bug fix everything. Otherwise, we'll just end up dragging our feet. And if we change something, then we've got a lot of code to sort of change it. In this sort of case, we're just going to be like, all right, cool. So it does all of this. Now we just need to, you know, get the data out there and all that kind of fun stuff. So if I hit refresh again, let's just go customer. Let's go socks. There we go. So we need to add in the ability to select these things and be able to send that data upstream. As for the data itself down here, we will just render it out. Easy peasy. Sit on my keyboard, thank you. So, sorry about that. Oh, it's, yeah, a bit like that today. I'm just going to close all tabs because there was a lot of stuff I was doing. So today, what I want to do, I'm just going to use this, is we want to add in the cards with checkboxes to get that to work. And 2, we want to render in the data to be deleted section. All right, cool. So just 2 little stuff. Yeah. I'm going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up just what we need. So source, JavaScript components. We are going to go into GDPR. We're going to open up the tabs. We're going to go and look at the data verification tab. So I think we can reuse this as, yeah, it won't be too hard to actually re-implement that for down here. So we've got data to be removed. We're going to have to be like p text class equals text instructions. and we're going to key in just a little bit of information. The following data will be removed from the system. Please. All right, easy. So we're going to keep it simple, as easy as possible. Up here, we could please alternatively I am going to state P class text instructions for best practices. Ooh, and we've just hit our first minute of ads. All right, cool. For those on YouTube, we run ads on Twitch so people don't get pre-rolled ads. You don't get ads, don't worry about it. We do this so people don't miss out on content. You can tell I've been saying that very fast. So yeah, you also get to see socks. She's like, sup? I'm gonna cause so much trouble. As she always does. Guaranteed to cause trouble. So yeah. I'm just doing that on that. All right, cool. So yeah, we've got about 45 seconds left of the ads. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna stand. I've been sitting all day. Whoop. There we go. All right. So how are we with the ads? About 20 seconds left. As you can see, Socks is really intent with the stream at the moment. So yeah. And I need a haircut. Look at that photo of me. I really need a haircut. Hopefully tomorrow. All right, welcome back everyone. So we just best practice. Best practice is to review each of these action required as there could be false positives. And then all right, cool. Yep, that's it. As for down here, the following data will be removed. All right, cool. And then we're just going to add the system. This is where we're going to use something similar up here, but it'll be for down here. Now, we've got the project variables. We're going to keep that. We've got the project results and all that kind of stuff. Ooh, that's actually hot. So if I actually go into the back end, let me actually show you guys this first before actually trying to explain it. I'm just going to reload. We're going to select our customer. We're going to select our socks fluffy butt. If we have a look at our response, data to be deleted, we've also got a data to be deleted section. And we've got user action. Now I'm just wondering if we should sort of reference that here because, well, it's two different bits of data. And I think that's going to be a yes. However, that being said, that should be a yes. Though I can, Sorry, I'm just giving a good hard think. Yeah. All right, cool. So we're going to do something like this. So we'll have a project to be deleted results and project user action results. The idea being is we'll differentiate the data here. It will have the same sort of structure and everything like that. So that should be perfectly fine. Alternatively, we could have project results and actually have an array, an object, and have the arrays in there and stuff like that. I think maybe that will be smarter. to do that. Because up here, all we're doing is we're just passing through the variables like that. And we can do that easily. Yeah, I think that would be smarter and easier to do. So with this, once again, we've got data to be deleted and user action required. And I'm just wondering if we just have it like that. I mean, we can easily do user action required and data to be deleted. Actually, yeah. And the reason why I'm doing this is to be consistent with the naming. So it would be something like this, which is easy done. If we scroll down here, I'm just going to do something like that. It'll be this dot project results dot data to be deleted response dot data to be deleted project, and this dot project results user action required equals response data user action required dot project, and it's going to be something like that. Fairly easy to do, quick and easy. And then up here we'll essentially have project results dot user action required and user action required. So I've been using a lot of .NET today, so give me a couple of seconds when I just do this very, very quickly. All right, easy done. That's done. So we're just going to wait a little while. We're going to hit refresh. This should not take very, very long to actually build. We're going to hit refresh. We're going to hit customer. We're going to hit next, and we're going to hit socks fluffy butt. So we don't have a problem with it. As you see, everything comes through. We still get this coming through. We're going to now add what is down here. I need to get myself a USB extension. Give me 1 second, sorry. There we go. I had a heavy cord holding the mouse down. So we're going to put this in here right now. So I'm just going to shift that off to the right. And we should do the rest of those before doing that. Yeah, it won't take long. So we got the project variables, we've got this one, we're going to add that in, we're going to go user action required, that's going to be an empty array, and data to be deleted, it's also going to be an empty array, and then user action required, empty array, and then data to be deleted, empty array. Oops. All right. So that will be user action required, and data to be deleted, and I think that's it. All right, cool. I forgot the number which we're doing this on, and it's just as simple as doing it down here. So this dot requirement results dot data to be deleted equals response data to be deleted dot this would be requirement. This dot requirement results dot user action required equals response dot data to be deleted dot, sorry, not data to be deleted, user action required dot requirement. This dot, now what was the next one? Requirement item. Data to be deleted dot requirement item. This dot requirement item results dot user action required equals response dot data dot data user action required dot requirement item. So it should be data to delete user data user. Yep, sweet. And then the lucky last one, the task. Task results dot data to be deleted equals response dot data to be deleted dot task. This dot task results dot user equals response dot data dot user action required dot task. All right. All we're doing is we're grabbing the data that. Oh, I've just noticed something I've done silly. All right. Data to be deleted. You can tell I've been doing quite a lot of .NET today. Alright, so that should work. So we're setting all the data in. I don't think we need the add code there anymore. Yep, I'm happy with that. Okay, so what I want to do, that is 6 lines that I'm grabbing from there. I am going to put this down in here. We are just going to put project results data to be deleted dot project. The project variables will be the same. And then it'll be dot data to be deleted dot project dot length. Now that's the one thing which we don't have up here correct. And I think that's it. So we're gonna hit refresh. We're gonna pick customer. We're gonna pick socks fluffy butt. We've got that, but we never. Ooh, we've got an error. Not a problem. We're going to fix this up. So, data project results dot user action required project is undefined. All right, I've done something silly. And that's easy done. So project results. Hang on. Project results, user action required. Project results, yeah. All right, no. I've done something stupid. I was wrong before. I don't need that in there. I just need that. Because we're separating them all out. Okay, cool. I'm just going to hit refresh. We're also going to zoom in. We are going to go customer, socks fluffy butt. We've got the green. We've got to go in here. There she is there. Now we don't have anything rendering down here, but that's perfectly fine for the moment. We'll fix that up. But if I go find objects, list all objects, let's go into project 1 or something like that. Let's scroll down. Let's add in a customer in here and put socks fluffy butt in there. All right, sweet. If we hit refresh, we've got our customer, we've got socks fluffy butt, boom, there she is. So we need to state what these are, what we're actually deleting. So depending on what we're deleting depends what is getting removed. So data to remove. Now that's incorrect. If someone were to read that, the following data will be removed from the system. That's incorrect. What we need to say is the following customer will be removed from these particular objects. So going in here, we're going to need a VF statement in here. VF, it would be, this is object type, and I'm just wondering if I'm pulling object type through GDPR object type equals, and then we're just going to put customer. The following objects will have the customer removed from them. The objects will not be deleted, just the connection to the customer. All right, cool. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, it'll just be put in there like that. What is Kanban board? So a Kanban board, if we, I've just gone into, it's one of these where you get to like move the cards around. So yeah, and then you create new cards and you're like, hello world card. Add that in, move that around, put it in a block to be like ID blocked. Oops. So yeah, that's what a Kanban board is. And welcome. Show Yabip. So yeah, I do apologize if I pronounce your name incorrectly. I'm terrible with names. All right, so if we go customer again, we go into this, we then hit this. The following objects will have the customer removed from them. The object will not be deleted, just the connections to the customer. So yeah. All right, so now that we've done that, we can easily put in the other ones very quickly into here. I'm also going to put a HR up here. Reason being is, and a divider. The reason being is, I want a little bit more space between them. I want to be like, all right, cool, this is one section, this is another section. So we're going to go to that. We're also going to paste that in. Instead of project results, it is going to be requirement results. That's going to be requirement variables. The destination will be requirement. The target will be blank. And this will be requirement results again. All right, cool. So pretty stock standard. In here, we've got requirement item results. Item, all right, a blank. Alright. And then we've got task. Easy done. Alright, cool. So if we go back into here at the moment and we hit refresh, we're going to go customer, we're going to go next, we're going to go socks, fluffy butt, we're going to go down here. We can see these lists out now and we're all like, cool, sweet. This is all the data we want to put out there. Now, we... yeah, I think I'm happy with the data to remove section. We now need to sort of deal with the user action required section, and I'm just wondering if we need more information passing through. Please note the following data will need to be reviewed by a human. There can be false positives within this data where the text in the description could be overwritten. Please uncheck if you do not want. So, yeah. I'm just wondering if we do include a bit of this description in there. And the reason being is a user might come in and go, what's in there? Now, at the moment, a user can click on this and it'll actually open up this and they'll be like, all right, cool. I can have a read of this and so forth like that. You can go to the object, manually edit the data. Please untick the row review. The best practice is to review each of these action required. Yep. All right. Cool. Sweet. So yeah. Oh yeah, that's. Yep. I've got to fix that in a minute. All right. We need to. Yeah, I need to have the little. Putting in a description in there is going to be a bit hard to do. All right, I am going to leave it like that for the moment. What I'm going to actually do is I'm going to build another component that will allow me to have the tick box. We are going to essentially only use it for this at the moment. However, that being said, when we review all the code, we might be like, hey, let's make this generic and actually use it in other parts, which could happen easily. So, Fox, you are starting to pace, and I don't know why. Okay. Yeah, I want a little tick box on that. I'm just thinking how I can actually tackle this. Now, one way I can tackle it is I can copy this and sort of re-implement it, which would be very, very easy to do. I wouldn't mind doing that. We would need a couple of extra fields in there. So one would be the local model for the tick box, whether it's ticked or not. And then if someone were to untick it or tick it, we send that data upstream to either remove it or add it to an array. And we have to sort of state which bits of data we're sort of editing. So yeah. Could be easily done. And I'm probably leaning on that just because if we have it only for this component, I don't need to make it. Yeah, it'll be quick and easy to sort of pull it out. So just stop leaning on my stuff. You know, that annoys me. All right, let's do that. So I'm just playing with socks at the moment. Getting the little wombat to attack her, and she's like, "Arr." All right. So this is render object card. All right. Essentially, we're just copying all of this. It'd be very similar to this. I am actually just going to copy this. So it'll be render object card checkbox. We're adding it into the code. The other thing which we want to do, so we've got the card detail. is if I go into here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to knock this off to the right. I'm going to right hand click on this. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to have a look at how this is set up. So we've got the object card and then we've got the object card details. Now that's 82%. If I edit as HTML and I just go into here, div class equals nothing. We're just going to do something like that very, very quickly. So we'll just put a little div into there. Class equals, let's go style equals 90 pixels, or width 90 pixels. And then we're adding in an input, type equals checkbox. And value equals 0. Oh, sorry, that's not meant to be. So we've got something like that. And that will fit perfectly fine in here. Now, another thing I would want to do, and it's definitely 90 is not worth it. I think that will do. And then what we want is display flex, flex direction. No, we don't need flex direction. Sorry. What do we want? Flex. No. Display. No. Flex. Oh, what is it? Specify content center. Sorry, it took a second for me to remember. So we could do that, and that looks relatively nice. It's quick and easy to put that in, and we can do that very, very shortly. So, sorry, I'll just. All right, let's do that right now. So we've got the object detail, we've got the object card. Once again, we put this up just a little up here. So we're going to go div class equals object card checkbox. We're going to have an input type equals checkbox. Easy done. We're going to have a v model equals I'm going to have it called checkbox model. No need to, yeah. No need to invent something hard. So, we want data return checkbox model, and that's going to be Oh, sorry. Yes, I am from Australia. Sorry, I just saw your text. I do apologize. Doesn't your cat step on your keyboard while typing? Yes, she does. Constantly, all the time, and it is really annoying. She also sits on the mouse, and she also has almost raided someone before. So on Twitch, you get to press a couple of buttons, and you start raiding someone. I had my iPad up, and she's just gone up there and started hitting stuff. And yeah, almost raided someone. So, yeah. I do apologize. When I am in that sort of zone, I do forget to look at chat. So I do apologize about that. So, yeah, she also likes to sit in between the keyboard and the monitor at times. You'll see me sort of do something like this, and it's me actually trying to look around to her head. So, yeah. She's run off at the moment, so she's probably getting food or water. Now, what I could do... I could pass through a default checked. because I don't want this. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Type boolean. Default is going to be false. That's it. That's all we need. And then down here we just go this.default checkbox. So thus, if we tell it, hey, listen, we want you to be checked, we can. But default, it'll be off. So we've got that. Now we'll need a watch. That's an object. However, oh, and we just hit our second ad break of the night. I can't believe so quickly. For those on YouTube, we run ads on Twitch because of pre-rolled ads. That's just to stop them. It happens every 30 minutes. Don't worry, you don't get any ads. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we do this so no one misses out on any content. So yeah, you get to see me here talk about stuff, solve the Rubik's Cube, or yeah, just see me staring awkwardly at the screen. Talking about Rubik's Cube, I put it down there. All right, and I mucked this up before. What are my hobbies? Well, excluding from programming NearBeach, I do a bit of gardening. So I'm currently growing a lot of root vegetables just because it's actually cold here at the moment. Don't get fooled by me wearing t-shirt and shorts. That's just because in this room, my computer has heated it up a little bit to the point where I can wear a t-shirt and shorts. Otherwise, I like to game and read books every now and then, though I haven't read a book in a while, which is kind of bad. Anyway, we should be back from the ads. Welcome back, everyone. So we're going to put in a watch, and that's going to be on the checkbox modal. And what we're going to do is now there's actually two ways of doing this, what I'm thinking of at the moment. One way is we set up a whole array with every single value and stuff like that. However, I don't think that's applicable in our sort of situation. So you got an ID to a value and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, nah, that won't work. So what we need is we need the checkbox model. We just need to send it up into the thing, and then, yeah, all right, cool. So checkbox, when that has changed, we send it up, but we also need the destination, the model target. So that will be here, model target. That will be a type of string, and default is going to be nothing. All right, cool. We also need to have an emit. Now, if memory serves me correctly, that is an array, and what we want to do is update checkbox. Just trying to think of a good name. I think that's it. Update. It might be very, very generic, a little too generic, but update checkbox model. I think that's a little bit better. So going down here, what we want to do, we've now got something to this $emit update checkbox model, and then we've got some data to feed it through. So one of the bits of data that we're feeding it through is we want target model. Oh, model target, sorry. Best to keep all your variable names consistent. We want value. And that's pretty much it. So yeah. Not super complicated or anything like that. We do need to call it properly, so we're going to go up with the GDPR wizard. We're going to go up here, we're going to click on this, and then we're going to go and call it card checkout, like that. We do need to actually import it, so we're just going to scroll down here. We've got our map getters, so that's UX. That is components. So import render object card checkout box. We need to put it in here. Like so. Then we're just scrolling up. So vbind the search results, we're all happy with that. Oh, it's gonna do that, isn't it? Target model equals project. We're happy with that. The default select, default checkbox, sorry. Yep, that's all that equals. This will actually be a vbind. And that will be true. So we're passing down a bool that's true. All right, sweet. We've got all of that. And then all. All right. Sorry, I'm having a good think about this at the moment. So got all that rendering. We need the emit. So I don't know why it's like that at the moment. We need to be on, and it's, what did we call it? We called it update check model, checkbox model. And we're just going to do that, and we're going to add that in down here in part of our methods. Now we'll have some data passing through. Easy done. And then we go console log data. We're just going to console log this out for the moment, just so we're getting everything correct. What we'll need to also have up here is we'll need the project model. Yeah, all right, cool. That's going to be an array. We need a requirement model. That's also going to be an array. Requirement model and task model. Easy done. So going with this, let's see what actually happens. I'm just going to hit refresh. We're going to hit customer. We're going to hit next. We're going to hit socks fluffy butt. We get all of that. We're going to come over. We don't have anything because we've broken stuff. And the reason being is fail to resolve component, render object, card checkout. All right, no, I've mucked that up. Yeah, I've mucked that up. I've really mucked that up. Render object card checkbox. There we go. Absolutely mucked that up. That was horrible of me. Let's wait for a little while. Let's hit refresh. Let's go into customer. We're going to go over in here. We're going to go to slots, fluffy butt. We've got that already ticked. Perfect. However, that being said, not really. If we move this to the left, if we actually go into our view itself and we open up the GDPR wizard, all of this data verification tab, you'll notice under project model, we don't have anything ticked. So what we've got to do is when we get the data, we've got to loop through it and add the IDs in there. So I'm going to say, oops, sorry, didn't mean to throw that at you. I'm going to probably say, in this sort of case, because we're not, because the data comes one way, I've mucked up the cup. I think I'm overly complicating this. So I think, yeah, I think I've mucked it. Yeah, I've definitely mucked this up. All right, let's go to the render checkbox. What's happening is we're actually doing a loop in here. We can actually hold the model in here. Yeah. All right. Oh, I've mucked this up. Because yeah, there'll be one input. There'll be. Yeah. All right. Not a problem. Let's see how I've done it. In this sort of case, what I've done is I've done the vbind value, dloop.value, and then the ID, I've done it like that, and then the v model is the day model. I'm going to have to do it like that. And Nocturnal, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. It is really cold here at the moment. Don't be fooled by my t-shirt and shorts. It's just because I've got my heater on. Sorry, I've got my computer on. Look at that, 9 degrees Celsius. Or for those who prefer the freedom units, 49. I'm cold. And tomorrow morning when I wake up at 6, it's going to be 3 degrees Celsius. I'm cycling in that. So yeah. Not looking forward to it. I joked with my producer being like, I'm going to have to wear pants tomorrow. They're shocked. I don't think they've ever seen me wear pants before. Alright, so we're going to copy what I've done there over here. So we've got the type checkbox. We're going to have a vbind value equals, this is going to be made up of 2 different variables. So this is going to be the model target underscore, actually no, it's just going to be the ID. This will be the results.pk. And then vbind ID equals, and this is where we're going to use the the model target underscore result.pk. It's 18 there. Ooh, nice. 49 is chilly, and in the 30s it's starting to properly get cold. Yes. Yes, it is going to get cold. So yeah, 3 degrees Celsius, that is, I don't know off the top of my head, C2F. So that is 37.4 Fahrenheit. So pretty cold. Pretty cold. So yeah, gonna cycle in that tomorrow. I should pump up my tires tonight if I remember. So yeah, anyway, that should go into the checkbox model, which now should be an array. I'm just wondering, can we make it so it checkboxes automatically? Possibly. We would need to do some magic though. Potentially can be done. All right. Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna yawn. Oh. All right, I'm gonna hit refresh on the wrong thing. I'm gonna hit refresh here. We're going to go customer. We're going to go next. We're going to go socks, fluffy butt. We're going to go next. And if I tick that, now we've got the project model. We need to go down one. And it's undefined. All right. Now it's done. Now it's one undefined. All right. Well, don't pump up too high because it will reduce the surface area at 3 digits. Nice. Starts following. Yeah. Yep. My tires are a little bit flat though. I keep forgetting to pump them up when I get home. So yeah, I just remembered that. Alright. Yes, yeah. I'm saying it out loud in hopes that I remember to do it. If I remember to do it. Okay, going back with this ID thing. So we've got checkbox vbind value is result.pk, which should be up here. And then that should be model target, so that should be project. However, if we want to send this upstream, we possibly don't need a lot of this. And oh no, we do need the IDs in there. Because yeah, we need the target. And we've got the checkbox model. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's coming undefined though. I'm going to inspect it. So we've got the object card checkbox here. Yeah, ID undefined. See, that should come out with a number. In this sort of case, 6. And the type checkbox, but also the ID and the value. Not the value. Hold on a second. Let's. Every now and then this actually happens. We just gotta recompile. Hey Socks, you standing by the door guarding. Okay. Let's go back into this. Let's hit reload. Let's hit the inspect. Yeah, undefined. Am I got any console logs issues? No, I don't. All right. So I'm just having a quick think about how I can tackle this problem. Okay, so we've got a type checkbox. I should have those values come through. It's not PKs. That's why. It's actually IDs. Okay, so if I change that to ID, it will work. And that's model target. All right. I hate when this happens. So I'm just quickly cleaning up this. All right, so the mistake was a model target instead of target model. Another sort of mistake is we don't have the PK whatsoever. So if we actually have a look at our data, we have object ID. Now it might be great that I go to the back end and be like, all right, cool, I'm going to pull in that object ID from the back end. Won't take too won't take too long to implement. All right, let's just do that. So we're going to close source. We're going to open up NearBeach. We're going to open up our views. We're going to go down to our GDPR wizard views. We are going to actually have a look at all of our data. So that's part of the search. I am going to move that down here so you guys can see the code even better. We've got the values. All right, cool. We got all of that. Yep. Down here is get customer data. So we've got the object list. We've got the fields that we're looking through. I'm all happy with all of that. It's down here that we want to include just PK. And that's it. Maybe deleted data too. All right. We also want to do it for this one. And this one. All right. So that's now set. We're just going to wait for Django to reboot. There it has. We're just going to go customer. We're going to hope for the best. We do see green. If I click on this and go inspect, there it goes. So again, pretty simple, easy to fix. We're just passing through the PK and everyone's happy. Now, we do actually have object ID and all of that kind of stuff. Might be something that I might want to clean up in the code later. Okay, cool. All right, just give me a couple of seconds. I am solving this very, very quickly. All right, so going with this, we're now happy with that. Going in here, rendering object card, that box, that's working perfectly fine. We'll probably need to emit it upstairs. So when someone makes a change, it gets plonked upstairs. We'll also need another watch to be like, hey, check the default. If the imported variables change, not the imported variables, sorry, the search results change, we need to redo this whole thing. So let's do that right now. Now there is VueJS watch deep object. deep watches, which is what we want to do. So we're going to have to do something like this. And so it's going to be slightly different. We're going to have the object. We're just going to have it open like that and handler and all that kind of stuff. So it's slightly different shape than what we're used to. So we've got this. I'm going to open it up. We're going to go handler. Now it's handler. Now we've got a new value, old value. We're not too worried about that at all. In fact, we could go new value. We're going to add some code in here, and then what we're also going to do is we're going to go deep true, much like that. Okay, cool. So what that means is it looks into the array and so forth like that. So if anything changes in there, it's going to be like, all right, cool, I am going to do some work for you. In here with the handler, what we actually want to do is if the sets the default for the checkbox. Okay, cool. So if this dot default checkbox, let's say it's going to be true. Everything is checked. Then what we need to do is we need to go through and add in all the primary keys into the array. So this dot, and this is going to be very, very simple. I just got to remember, checkbox model equals this. It'll be new value dot map, and it'll be row, and then we just return row dot pk. That's all we're doing. So it just grabs that pk value and it shoves it straight into the checkbox model, and that's it. And then return. Nothing else to do. Otherwise, blank out the checkbox model, and we're happy. All right, easy done. So that's all that. So if we hit refresh, we go into customer. I'm going to open up the console knowing I've done something wrong. Socks fluffy bot, that should fill that in, and it quite hasn't. You okay, Speedy? Just like meowing at me, demanding. Yo, you can't be demanding and then. All right, so I'm going to check this out. So this is the render object. So there will be a data checkbox model. Now default checkbox true. Now there could be one or two problems. Let's have a look. Let's customer next. Socks fluffy. Didn't hit that. All right. I am. We're just going to do that. And we're just going to wait a little while. We're going to hit refresh. We're going to go customer. We're going to go socks. And am I not compiling? Now the next thing is we've just mucked up everything and the watcher isn't doing what we want it to do. So we'll quickly do that. Oh, sorry. I'm going to go to bed early tonight. So it's built everything. We're going to have. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that conversation. Let's go next. Let's go socks fluffy butt. Yeah, still hasn't done what we wanted it to. We're going to go into here. So we've got the props. Yeah, all right. we can do watch on the props. Yeah, we've just got it like that. Unless we've got to have it like that. Which, hey, we can just key it in here, like watch. And we have just hit ads. All right, cool. Welcome back, everyone. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch, so people don't get pre-rolled ads. Essentially, you don't need to worry about it, and we do this so that no one misses out on any content. Okay, let's solve this cube. It won't take us that long, because I just got to do the top layer. I've got a couple of blocks in the wrong spot. That's easy done. Oops, that's definitely in the wrong spot. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that. Going to do that very quickly, and done. Alright, hopefully everyone's going well tonight. As some of you know, it is really cold. It's starting to get cold again in here. Okay, I don't want to turn on the heater just yet. I want to see how long I can last. So, yep. Alright, we've got about 15 seconds down, left, sorry. Okay, we're going to do that, 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 and we're going to do that, and... Alright. And we should be back. Yeah, welcome back, everyone! Okay, cool. We're going to go into here, we're going to go over here, we're going to hit refresh. We're going to hit our customer, we're going to hit next, we're going to hit socks. We don't have any errors, nor do we have anything indicating that that has changed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the view. We've got the render object up here, the render object card. Careful, socks. Data verification. No. Is this... Hang on. Have I mucked up somewhere? Okay, just gotta wait for that to do its thing. We go into here, we then hit customer, we then hit this, we then hit next. We do have that. All right, cool. It's done with the right checkbox now. But yeah, it's not... We're not hitting that console log, which is a bit concerning. Because I want that data to change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something simpler. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go down to the watch. I am just going to comment this whole thing out. And we're just going to type in search results. We're doing it as a function. Console log. Pane. Alright. Easy done. Unless I'm really doing the watches wrong. Yeah, we're doing it like that. We'll see. We'll see. So I'm going to hit refresh. We're going to hit customer. We're going to go next. We're going to hit socks fluffy butt. We do hit that. We don't see any pane. That is concerning. All right. Yeah, there's watch. It's an array. Yep, those are... Yep, Okay. We have done watches before on procs. Don't know why. It's probably something very, very silly, and I'm missing out on what it is. But also at the same time, if I tick, if I tick that, we are getting that. We are emitting that up. We're just not seeing a change in search results. Worst case scenario, we could just go, all right, cool. User has to tick through these. We do have the ability for the user to be like, all right, cool, I've got all of this, got all of that, and so forth like that. Yeah, I'm going to... Yeah, I'm just going to say it. No, we'll just do that. We'll get rid of the default checkbox. Get rid of that. Destination project, yep, we'll keep. Target, we'll keep. On update, we'll keep. We'll need that. We do need to put that into our SAS, so I'm going to do that very, very quickly. Object card detail. So that's going to be .object card checkbox. That's just going to be width. I think we had 45 pixels, display, flex, justify content, centered. I think that's all we had for that. Now that's going to take 45 seconds to sort of compile, but that's perfectly fine. Whilst we're doing that, we're all happy with that. It is sending us upstream and all that kind of stuff. We're going to hit refresh. There we go. We're going to hit customer. We're going to go next. We're going to hit socks fluffy butt. We're going to hit next. We've got this. I'm going to hit this. Boom. That shows up. We're going to say this is all deleted and all that kind of stuff. So we're happy with that. So yeah, and a lot of this I would probably definitely have to document in our documentation, and we might refer to that documentation here. Yeah, all right. Okay. Sorry, I was just giving you a thing. I'm kinda happy with that so far. With that, we also, let me just go to the view. Let's hit on data verification. So if I tick that, we've now got we haven't got any data going upstream, and that's perfectly fine. But if I click on that, we've now got number 6. So if I have multiple in there, we'll be good. So what I want to do is just create a new project. And I'm just going to call it socks fluffy. Socks is fluffy, but all right, easy done. Not a problem. The reason why I'm doing that is I want multiple in there. So when I test this out, we can tick them both separately, and we've got it as an array. Oh, actually, no, that's the wrong one. Render that. All right, cool. Yeah, we've got the checkbox 6 and 7, and then we untick. Yeah, all right, sweet. And the reason being, what we want this for is when we send it to the backend, we'll send one for projects, one for requirements, and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, it just gets done a lot quicker that way. All right, so what we've got now, we've got all of that. We now need to just do the next. So in theory, someone could jump onto here and then they'll be like, all right, cool, there's nothing for me to do. And that is highly likely. There might not be any data in here whatsoever. And they're like, sweet, I just need to move on. And click next. Now we've got to do that. So at the moment, it's saying the data isn't valid. So if we actually jump into the GDR, this is, so that will be 0, 1, 2. This by default should actually be true. So by default, that should be true. So we just need to go back into here. We just need to open up our VueJS. GDPR. Scroll up to the top and just go true. And by technicality, that one will also be true. So, depending what we actually do, depends what's actually going to happen here. So in the case of the customers, we're just deleting the customer and all their details and so forth like that. I should... So I just got to think this out because with the customers will be different to the customers will be different to the users, which will be different to the organizations. So with the organizations, it's just everything's getting deleted. There's no you don't need to validate or anything like that. With the users, it will most likely be come through and then all of that. Yep, all right, cool. So what I need to do is in here, I just need a validation that the user will delete something. All right. And in the case of the user, we need to pick a user which all data will be then assigned to. So what actually happens is with we've got Cascade on the database. So if someone deletes a user, it could actually delete follow through objects and so forth like that. So to stop that, what we do is we'll update those beforehand. However, that's only needed to be done if it's the user, and it'll always be the first result. So yeah, we just need the Actually, it'll be the current user. Okay, cool. Alright, no, I just solved a problem in my head. So, one of the problems is actually getting the user to pick which user we want these to be assigned to. In this sort of case, I think this should actually be the current logged in user, because we need that audit trail. So, what will actually happen is when the user gets removed from the system, before they're removed, all the objects that have either a creation or a modification assigned to them will be updated to have that assigned to the current user. So yeah. All right. I need to buy a proper thermometer. What's a good thermometer? Sorry, I looked at my thermometer and I am just like, no, this is. See, I've got that one, and I don't think it's 19.8 degrees Celsius in here. At all. I need to get a decent one. Okay. So I'm getting distracted. Okay, let's do the last page. So in here, what we need to do alert info. All right, we've done that. All right, down here, import map getters from VueJS. All right, cool. We're happy with that. Down here, props. I don't know if we're importing any props. In fact, I'm not going to do anything at the moment. Computed, we will be. So with the computed, what we want are the map getters. So we're going to open up that. What we're going to have is GDPR object type. Get GDPR object type. All right, that's what I need at the moment. I also know I'll need the root URL. That's just to send stuff to the backend, all fine and dandy. With this, what we want to do is I want to create a if the GDPR object type equals user. Please note, I'm just wondering how we can sort of elaborate this. I'm perfectly fine having a very long message being like, please don't do this, yada, 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 so forth and so forth and so forth. Okay, so. Please note, your user ID will be used to fill out all creation user, and modified, or sorry, not creation user and what was the? There was another field that we had. It was creation, more like modified user. And modified user. Yeah, let's. Fields within the database. The original user that we are removing. All right, cool. Let's expand this. Due to the cascade effect within the NearBeach's database, many objects will be deleted if we just remove the user. To stop this from happening, actually not remove, will just be deleted. Many objects will be deleted if we just, remove the user. Sorry, I just remember that incorrectly. To stop this from happening, we'll be using your user ID to fill out both the creation user and modified user fields. You're now responsible. All right, cool. So that will pop up if it's the user. For the next one, div class equals, this would be alert danger. Beware, this cannot be undone. We are deleting data from the database. There's no comes back for that. Okay, cool. We are deleting data from the database. Please make sure you have checked all data before submitting this. It cannot be undone. I'm going to say that twice. All right, the next thing we want to do is we need a confirmation. So we've got two alerts. Yeah. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do, div I'm actually going to go div class equals col md4, easy done. We're going to have our strong up here, and we're going to have warning, deleting, and then we're going to have GDPR object type, stuff like that. That's easy done. And then we're going to have p class equals text instructions, and we're going to state in here, please confirm that you are happy with deleting this data. Please type in the field deleting, and then we're just going to go GDPR object type like that. Okay, cool. The next thing I want to do is going to have a div. Oh wait, that's in the wrong div element. Easy done. So div class equals col md8, like so. We're just going to get rid of that like that. We're going to bump those up like that. We're going to close that div like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in a simple div class equals form group in here. We're going to have a label. We're going to call it confirm deletion of GDPR object type. Stuff like that. We're going to have an input, and we're going to have the input type equals simple text. We're going to have a v model equals confirmation text, confirmation model, and we're going to have it like that. Yep, like that. We're going to scroll down here. We are going to have, whoops, we're going to have our data, return, and that's confirmation model, and that's going to be like that. We're also going to have a watch, and it's going to be this. It's going to be confirmation model, and what we're going to do is this $score dot commit. We're just going to actually, no, we're going to do the verification and stuff like that. The quick and easiest way to do the verification is we can actually calculate it down here and then send it upstream. So, yes. Okay, give me a couple of seconds. Sorry, I'm getting distracted with the cube again. Okay, so with the confirmation model, what we want to actually do is we've just got a const and validated equals, and then we go this.confirmation model equals, we need to go to lowercase equals, and then we just want to go up here. It will be deleting and that's pretty much it. Now, just because it's going to complain that we're doing that. All right, cool. So we've got our validation, and then we just got to send it upstream. So that will be this $store.commit, and that will be something along the lines of type. That will be update validation data, I think it is, and I'm going to double check this with the VueJS this up here. So validation data. So update validation data equals validation data. Validation, so tab ID and value is what I want. So tab ID will be actually 3. I think. Payload.tabID 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the fourth. No, the third one. Because the top will be 0, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, alright, cool. Sorry. Don't know why that's so hard for me to do today. So yeah, so we've got the type, we've got the tab ID, and that's going to be 4, and we've got the value, and that's going to be validated, or is validated. Because we want this as a question, because we actually don't know. And then that will go upstream. And then we're kind of happy with it like that. So the next step is we've got to send this data to the backend, and then we've got to actually handle it from the backend. So once we get the front end all done and sorted, we just need to do a basic sort of bug sort of thing, checks and stuff like that. Shouldn't be too hard to actually implement this. So yeah. And then we do the back end. And then we should be pretty much finished with this task, and we can move on to the API for the child components, which would be nice to do. It would be good if we can get them done in this month. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 streams left of this month. So yeah. Anyway, so is validated. I'm gonna hit refresh. So we're going to pick a customer, we're going to go next, we're going to do socks fluffy butt, we're going to hit next, we're going to ignore all of that, that's pretty fine. So beware, this cannot be undone, we are deleting data from the database and all that kind of stuff. I need to actually add in some form stuff into here. And thank you very much for the follow, Sir Salsas. Welcome, I do hope you are enjoying my content. So I need to fix this up in a little bit, but what should happen is if we have a look over here. Oh, it's all true. Now that top one should be false. Because we want the person to validate it. And we'll just hit ad breaks. So yeah. Alright, for those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch because we want people not to have ads when they join. They're called pre-rolled ads. Let's just stop them. You guys don't get any ads, don't worry about that. So yeah, and whilst we're running the ads, we run this so no one misses out on any content. So yeah. Okay, so doing this, doing that, doing that. All right. And there you go. Rubik's Cube done. Okay, where are we with the ads? About 15 seconds left. We can all say hi to Socks. She's in her bed having a... She's actually behaving right now. So yeah, which is nice of her. Glad she isn't sitting on my keyboard or anything like that. So yeah. About 3 seconds. And welcome back, everyone. Alright, cool. So we're going to jump back into this. This is false. We're going to hit refresh into here. We're just going to go customer. We're going to go next with Socks Fluffy Butt. We're all happy with that. We're going to hit next. I need to fix this one up in a second. We've got the GDPR. We've got this false. If I go in here, deleting customer. Oh, alright, tab 3. Alright, cool. We've made a mistake in here. We're going to do that. And that should be it. We'll also fix this up here. Label, class equals form control. We've got this and class equals form control here. This will be... label like that. That should work. I'm just going to hit refresh. We're going to hit customer. We're going to hit Socks. We're going to be like, yep, sure. Confirm customer deletion. I don't know. All right, no, I know why. I don't need it there. Don't worry about that. Waiting a couple of seconds. We are going to hit refresh. We are going to go customer. We are going to go Socks Fluffy Butt. We're going to go next, and there we go. And then all we need to do down here is deletion, deleting customer. Done. And we need a validation in here to tell the user, hey, this is going to work. So that's pretty easy to do. That's just going to be a simple warning. Now we got the error or validation error. So under validation rendering, we've got let's actually have a look at. I'm gonna have a look at this. So we've got error list, default, result, nothing. All right, cool. And we've got message. So for error and error list, UUID. Okay, so it's set up in a particular way. I'm gonna say we can just use span class error. So in here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bump this onto another row, bump this onto another row. We're gonna go span class error. We've also going to do it like that. We're going to bump like that. We're going to VIF, and we're going to do that. So every I'm going to have an is validated here, like so. And we're going to do that. Definitely. All right, so everything's set to do that. And then if not is validated is here. And then please write, please confirm what you are deleting. Okay. Please see instructions on left. Actually, no. Right. I'm going to have it also here. Deleting GDPR object type. All right. Keep mucking that up. All right, sweet. So that looks like that. And all right, so I'm going to hit refresh. Let's see what that looks like. So we want to go customer. We want to go next. We want to pick socks, the fluffy butt next. And what we'll do later in the future is we will add in the ability to disable those buttons. Okay, cool. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to hit next. All right, confirm what you're deleting customer. So if we go deleting customer, boom. All right, cool. And then we just need to feed up those extra things. I'm going to turn this back on. I think it's getting really cold in here. All right, gonna do that, 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 gonna do that. Okay, so yeah, deleting customer. All right, what else do I need to do? I need to send this up. So if someone ticks on this, when we go to the confirmation and we send it, I need that data to be in an appropriate spot. Now, that being said, I've got it there. We're moving it up to there, and then I can move it upstream into the VueJS from there. All right, it's not pretty, but the reason why I'm doing that is because we've got to keep the render checkbox as generic as possible. And that's easy done. Sorry, I'm just thinking out aloud. And yes, all right. All right, cool. So with the GDPR stuff up here, we've got the validation. What we've got is down here where we've got this stuff where we're ticking it what we want to delete and so forth like that. We've kind of got to send it into the Vuex. So this is the checkbox model, easy done. That actually gets sent up. And what we want to actually have is in the Vuex, we want user action required. User action to be yeah, user action required. No, the reason user action to remove. All right. The reason being why we're picking something slightly different is we kind of got to be like to the user, hey, this isn't user action required. This is what the user has picked to be removed. So in here we'll have project, nothing in there, requirement, nothing in there, requirement item, and nothing in there, and then task, nothing in there. And then updating, it's going to be very, very simple. So this is action. We actually need to remove that. Actually, no, it's user LMNOPQRSTUV. So we just got to put it there. So we're going to go down here. We are going to go update user action to remove. We need the state, we need the payload, and this is going to be very, very simple. It's just going to be state.userAction to remove. We're going to keep in the payload dot, and this is going to be the object. We should do object type. We should also... we've been a bit inconsistent with the tabbing at the name convention. Alright, we'll leave the tabs like that. So that equals that. Object type equals payload dot object. We're just gonna go model type. Model. Alright. I think that's going to be it. Okay. So, when these get rendered, these go up. Okay. So I'm just going to go into here. We've got all this. So open up the components. We're going to have a look at GDPR. We're going to have a look at the wizard steps. No. We want the... This is part of the data verification. So this gets sent upstream. We've got our console log. I should just search for the console log. There we are. So what we got is we've got data. And under the checkbox, we're sending the data up as model target, and checkbox model is model target and value. And we're going to do the same thing going upstream. So that will be this $score.commit. We're going to commit with the type going update user action to be removed. We are double checking what we've got down here. So I'm just going to copy these two. That's easy done. We're going to go up here. We're just going to paste them in like this as reference. We're also going to go up here. We're going to paste them in like this for reference. So we're going to say payload dot model target and payload dot checkbox model. All right. So that we can track down and up with what the variable names are and all that kind of stuff. So in here, we are just going to do that. We actually don't need these at all. And instead of this, it's actually going to be data. Like so, and that should be it. So what's actually happening is downstairs, we're putting it up here. We can't handle the use store downstairs because if we're going to make this very generic, used in other different places, we'll need to actually make it fully generic, as in like you'll send that up to its parent and the parent actually handles this. So that should work if we're going to oops, sorry, socks on. I didn't mean that. Oh, she's like, what the hell? Oh, sweetie, come here. You're like, hi, we're sleeping. Yeah, all right, cool. We're going to refresh this. We're going to go, all right, cool. Customer in here. We're going to go socks, fluffy butt. And in here, we want to hit our, no, not that. We want to hit this. We've got a view. We've got our GDPR. So there's our stuff. If I tick on this, hit refresh. Did we... we needed to wait a little bit longer. All right, cool. There it goes, sucks. She's like, I'm not happy. No, you're sitting up by the iPad. I'm not happy. I need that, sucks. You know that. All right, I'm gonna tick that. I'm gonna go into our view. We're gonna have a look over here. Project undefined. All right, so we are setting something up. We're just breaking stuff. Not a problem. We'll fix this up very, very quickly. I think I've just misnamed something or changed something and something's broken. All right, cool. So what I want to do is I want to go into here. I want to go to the data verification. That's, no, I want to render this. So that's value. My God, just fuck. It's all right. All right, cool. All right, I'm just gonna hit refresh. So I've got to wait quite a number of seconds. All right, I'm going to go customer. We're going to go socks, fluffy butt. We're going to click on one of these. Boom. I'm going to click it again. Boom. All right, what I've got to do is I've got to set these up so the others render perfectly fine. And then once that's all done, we then do the final, yeah, the final one, which will be good. Sorry, the final step, which is sending it to the back end. Shouldn't take too long to do. All right, I'm just going to close all this. I have messed it up massively, as in like order and stuff like that. What we want is we want the wizard data verification. We're going to scroll all the way up. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that's 8. And that should all be the same. All right, so instead of project results, we're going to go requirement results. VBind, that will be requirement variables. Easy done. Destination is a requirement. Model target is going to be a requirement. Target is blanked. We're going to update. Yep, that'll be perfectly fine. And this will just be requirement results. Easy done. The next one is going to be requirement item. Requirement item results. That would be a requirement item. Like so, and then the last one's just going to be task results. Okay. let's go over here. Let's wait a little while. And let's hit reload. We go customer, we're going to go across, we're going to go customer, yep. So we don't have anything with socks fluffy butt in it that's in anything else, but what we'll do is we'll search for those objects and we'll add them in very, very quickly. So we've got, let's go requirement, let's go socks, easy done. Update requirement, and what if I do is a refresh. Let's see what the temperature is now, because I swear, yeah, 8 degrees. I might need to, there we go, requirement, boom, that gets pumped in. I'm going to turn that off. I'm just going to put on my dressing gown. Hold on. So taking everything out, let's do this. I took out my fan. My beanies come off. Elegant. Okay. So we're pretty much there. If we start ticking this and start ticking this, we've got the requirement. If we do requirement items, I'm just going to open up this one. I'm just going to go into requirement item, and I'm just going to type in socks in here. Easy done. That's how we're going to do it. Update requirement. We're also going to find all objects and get a task, and we're just going to type in socks in here. We're going to update the task. Easy done. So we're going to hit refresh. Now all of those should suddenly start appearing. So we're going to go customer. We're going to go socks fluffy butt. And there we go. They're all starting to appear. So we've got an error in there. The requirement items is using the wrong field. That's actually using the description. So we're going to fix that up right now, in fact. So, going with this, we're going to go into up here, we're going to go to our wizard, we're going to scroll all the way up to the object data. So that's actually part of the, that's not the get customers data. That's, actually that is part of the get customers data. It's part of the requirement item. So we've got title and scope. And object title is, I've accidentally put the scope, it's meant to be title. There we go. So we're just going to wait, we don't have to wait long. And there we go, that bug is fixed. And you can see everything's in there now. And the user can go through and be like, all right, cool, we need to add this in, we need to add this in, and so forth like that. However, what the user should be doing is going in and removing those particular fields. So, yeah. All right. And then we've got data to be removed. We just go next. Actually, I should tick each one of these. So that's all working how we want it to, which I'm happy with. Requirement item, eh? That was weird. Oh. Alright, there we go. Okay. This is going to be interesting when I actually do the million data row test. So what I kind of want to do is eventually set up my NAS. So I've got a VM on it, and I want to populate the VM with as much data as possible. Now the good thing about my NAS is I can be like, all right, for Vue 4 callers, what we'll do is we'll import all this data and hope it doesn't take forever, and then drop it down to 1 core or something like that and really test it with how much data we can send it. I'm also going to do a load balancing test with my NAS, and the best thing is because it's all local network, I don't need to worry about using up anyone's bandwidth or anything like that, because it all just happens in my network. Yeah. Alright, sorry, I'm just quickly doing this. Okay, so I'm rather happy with that. We now just need to do the next. This won't work because it's like that and all that kind of stuff. We'll come through and we'll actually clean up the user experience of this and so forth like that at a date in the near future. So we do that and then we hit next. There is no next. So I need to actually have that as something else. So going back into the data, I'm just going to close everything. So we're quite happy with how this is working so far. What we want to do is we want to go into source, we want to go into JavaScript, we want to open up components, we want to open up the GDPR, we want to open up the wizard steps. So in this particular one, we got the get classes, span, index +1, tab. All right, cool. And then GDPR wizard, we're wanting the div row, submit row, and so forth like that. So we're quite happy with that. So we've got the previous, we've got the next. I think that's meant to be a 3. Because, yeah, we've over done that. So, not a problem. We just do that. We have to go through this process again. Well, it's pretty easy. Now, we don't have anything on there, but if we... Ooh, why don't we have anything on there? Now this, I'm not going to say is primary. I'm going to say is danger. Okay, we're going to have a refresh. There we go. I like that. All right. And then we can hit that. Now that does nothing at the moment. We're going to set that up. And the idea is when that hits that. Ooh, where do we go? Sorry, I'm actually just having a little think at the moment. The idea being is we want this to happen, and the good news is it will just happen. Now, we don't know what actually happens if there's like tens of billions of rows or how long that will take. Hopefully not too much longer. Okay. So I'm just having a quick think. At the moment, I'm not going to do anything special. We're just going to put up a little toast, and once again, we'll come back and deal with the UI UX at a later date. And we've just reached another ad break. So yeah, for those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour, so people don't get pre-rolled ads. We tend to do this so no one misses out on any content. Don't worry, you don't get any ads, and we're happy with that. That's fine. All right, so going with this. We're going to do that, we're going to do that, we're going to open up this, we're just doing this. All right, cool. All right, sweet. All right, done. Hopefully everyone's going well out there. Yeah, how long are the ads? About 30 more seconds, so not long at all. Okay. I don't think I'll get this. I won't get this completed by the time the ads are finished, but we can at least try. I need to really speed up my Cuban. Yeah. All right. How with the ads? Welcome back, everyone. All right, so we're here. The idea: someone clicks on this, a little toast will pop up, and we just tell them to wait. Now, we could disable that button right away. I think that would be a good idea. So we are going to do that. So disable submit button. All right, sweet. That's already a variable, so by default that should be true. However, actually, I'm just going to say false. Once again, we'll come back and we'll actually fix up all the UI UX problems in the future. The thing is, with this particular functionality, it won't be used that much. It's only used in very specific cases. We will have to write proper unit tests and all that kind of stuff for it. But yeah, we're not too worried about the user experience in this sort of case. And once again, this can all be done at the database level if someone does it carefully and not cascade delete everything. So yeah. All right. Actually, that's one thing I've just thought of. If a person logs in and they're deleting their own user account, that's going to cause problems because it's going to assign everything to that user. Ah, shoot. Sorry, I need to actually fix up one little tiny thing. It is part of the NearBeach views. This will be part of the not get customer. This will be part of the data where we want to actually make sure we don't have the current user. Ah, damn it. All right. Now let's get the data, get the search data. That's the object type. We're gonna need to Actually, it's going to be up here. So get user data. All right. In the odd case a user picks themselves to delete, just send back an error. Easy done. So what we do is if request dot, no, it isn't like that. All right. So we'll need to do that here. In the odd case a user picks themselves to delete, send back an error. So if request dot user I think it's going to be that equals ggpr object ID. We want to return HTTP bad request. Don't delete yourself. All right. I can see someone doing that and causing a massive problem, and we're actually going to try that out right now. So I'm just going to hit refresh. We're going to pick users. We're going to go next. We're going to be like, all right, cool. I'm actually the dark admin at the moment. Boom. Status code 500. If we go up here and we click on the status code 500, we go to the has no object username. Oh, all right. Then what is it? It's user, isn't it? We've got to wait a little while. We're going to pick user. We're going to go next. We're going to pick the dark admin again. Boom, 400. Don't delete yourself. I think that's a good enough yeah, good enough at this sort of case in point. They can still go next, but they can't. Oh, there's a couple of bugs in there. All right. I know how to fix that bug. Let's fix that bug up right now. So we want to go with Vuex. We want to hit this. We actually want to change this to false again. And what we want to do is we want to open up the tab, data verification. When we get the data, that's when we verify that. So this store, new toast, that's all done. Verify the tab. So that will be this $store.commit. That will be a type of update validation data. We're going to go tab. Double checking now. Tab ID. This will be tab 3, and value will equal true. And that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to hit refresh. I'm going to pick users. I'm going to go next. And yeah, if someone picks dark admin, it's going to come up with an error. Don't delete yourself. If they go next and next, oh, it still doesn't. Oh, I've got to wait a little bit longer. That's why. There we go. There we go. Alright, cool. So that's a don't delete yourself. Now, moving forward, we can easily remove that user from here without no problem. I think tackling it from both sides is probably the best solution. I'm just wondering. All right, we're going to tackle it from both sides. That's, the reason being is I don't want someone to be like, all right, I'm going to try and break this. There will be people who are like that. All right, cool. So we want get search data. So in this, what we want to do is we want to go up here, GD, I'm just going to paste that in, PR object type equals that. All right, so we're happy. So GDPR object type. If GDPR object type equals user. Now that being said, is search data. Yeah, it's lowercase. So if it's lowercase, what we want to do is we want to go results dot. Oh. Let me double check this. GDPR customer. All right. User to annotate dot values. Oh yeah, we just want the exclude. And I believe that's just it. Stop the user from picking themselves to delete, as it will cause many issues. All right. Just waiting for a little bit. I'm gonna hit refresh. We're gonna go customer. We're going to go socks fluffy butt. We're going to go, nope, that's not what I wanted. I'm just gonna hit refresh. Sorry, that was a force of habit. We are going to go user. We're going to go, oh, dark admin's still there. We are going to put a breakpoint here. And we're going to double check all of this. So I'm just going to hit refresh. We're going to go user. We've hit that breakpoint. So we should have results up here. And if we open it up, you can see what the model is. We should also have the object type is user. Yep. So we're just going to now, that's the query. That's the model. I'm just having a check what's in here. It's gonna, so we're gonna hover over user. So user is dark admin. It's gonna do that. Let's see what happens there. We're gonna wait a couple of seconds. We want to go user. Dark admin's still in there. All right. Should be something like that. I'm going to cheat. PK. All right, just waiting for a little while. We're going to hit refresh. Okay, we are going to go user. Going to go next. Oh, yep, we haven't done this. Sorry, I really should remove that. Still got dark admin, which I don't know why. I'm going to put a breakpoint there. I'm going to edit resend. I'm just going to resend it. So we've hit this. So number 7. Yeah. All right, what do I want to do? A equals user.objects.filter. Username equals request.user. All right. B equals hello world. We're just seeing what happens. I'm just going to put a breakpoint there. We're just going to hit play. This whole thing's going to refresh. That's perfectly fine. We wait a couple of seconds. We're going to hit refresh. We're going to hit that, and we've got here. All right, cool. So we're going to go boom, boom, boom. Then why is exclude not working? Oh, I know why. We forgot to do results equals results dot exclude. That's it. And that's just going to be username equals request dot user. Right, I've overcomplicated things. Let's just hit refresh. Let's go back into user. We're going to go next. We shouldn't see dark admin. We don't see dark admin anymore. Awesome. I'm happy with that. So we've just tackled it from both ways. So that's all done. I'm happy with that. We now need to just do the posting of it. So let's go back into, let's just close all of these tabs because let's go back into the wizard. So with the wizard, we've got submit GDPR. If I were to go in here, that, next. I'm going to have to fix that, but that's not a problem. Let's go customer. Oh, all right. I've got another bug. GDPR, tab 2, false still. This is the one which we changed and all that kind of fun stuff, but we should be changing that to true. I got the wrong number down. All right. Easy done. That was a simple mistake. So we're going to hit refresh. We're going to go, all right, cool, customer. We're going to go next. We're going to get our data. Cool. We're happy with that. We're going to go next. Here we are. We're going to go deleting customer. Easy done. What we want to do is in here. We've got the user actions to remove, to send up. We've got the GDPR. Essentially what we're doing is we're sending up all this data here, apart from the validation data. That's not needed. So that way we can find the object type. We can be like, all right, cool, it's a customer. We send that through and then we just delete, absolutely delete. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just having a good think. Okay. So yeah, we just need to send that data upstream. Okay, cool. Going back with this, we've got this. What we're going to hit is create data to send, const data to send equals new form data. Easy done. And then what we want to do, data to send dot set GDPR. This is where we go object ID. Dot GDPR. We don't actually have that value in here, but because we store it in a in the view store, we can go GDPR object ID is get GDPR object ID. We'll also need the type, so GDPR object type equals get GDPR object type. Easy done. We're all happy with that. And then we just go this dot GDPR object ID. We're also going to do that with the type, so data to send dot set GDPR object type. When did you start coding and how long have you been doing it? I can give you a couple of different answers. I found a calculator when I was about 10 that I could program. If you want to include that, that was basic. Otherwise, in reality, I properly programmed when I was at university. So that was, I was in university nearly 2 decades ago. However, I did C, MATLAB, and Maple. And then I got a job at the university and I helped build a couple of database sort of things using Qt, which is C++ with the Qt framework. And yeah, years and years. As for web development and stuff like that, 8-9 years ago, I decided to be like, all right, cool, I'm going to look into web development. And yeah, here I am. So yeah, I have a weird sort of how I got where I am. I essentially studied mathematics, so yes. And welcome, Mohith. Welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. Okay, user action to remove. This is where we just need, yeah, but for a job, I essentially ended up being a data scientist before the data scientist was done, coined termed. I essentially dealt with lots of data, so a lot of Excel, a lot of SQL, and this is just before Python actually became a thing. Yeah, and then I jumped into web development. I also jumped into IT at one point and stuff like that. It's a weird progression, let's just say that. But I'm here now. All right, so we've got user action to remove. We're just going to send back those bits of data. Yeah, that's it. So we actually need that data. So user action to remove, we'll actually need to get that action. So once again, we've got to go open up the Vuex. We're going to go down here and we're going to type it in. So get user, what are we calling it? Action to remove. And that's a simple state. We're just going to return state dot user action to remove. Cool. Easy done. So we are going to go into here. And we're going to get GDPR wizard. We can close that one now. We're going to go user action. I'm just going to put type in that. So we're going to get user action to remove. I'm going to type that in, user action to remove into there. And then what we want to do is we're going to loop through each of these. for, oh God, I've been doing way too much .NET. I don't know, I know how to do it. Data to send.set project and then row. It's just going to be that. Now, why? There we go. We're going to do this for all four. Now that will be requirement. Then you got requirement item. And then you got task. All right, so loop through each of the user action to remove. Okay, easy done. We could potentially put that with a loop within a loop, which will be a little bit safer because if anything is undefined in there due to a number of reasons, it'll be perfectly fine. Can you make a video on how to do open source contribution for beginner and also how to look for a project to contribute to? Maybe. And is it possible to make money doing open source? For the vast majority of that question, making money doing open source, not really. Sadly, there are projects out there. So, for example, Patreon, VueJS. So Evan is the creator of VueJS, and as you see, they've got sponsorships and stuff like that. So that's one way you would be able to make money. But yeah, that's if someone finds your project useful. So yeah. However, open source, if you do open source configurations and stuff like that, you can always point at it when applying for jobs, being like, hey, I've done these, I've contributed to these particular projects, and they were doing this, and this is all the sort of issues I was having, and this, and so forth like that. So, yeah. Usually it's a labor of love, open source. So yeah, I could loop through. Yeah, I'm going to loop through. So what I'm going to do is this user action to remove dot for each, and then we're going to go object, and then in here we're going to go object dot for each, and then row, because it will be inside of there, and then it'll be data to send dot set, and then we're going to go object and row, and that should make that a lot easier to do. So that's just condensed the code a little bit. And for those who want to visually understand what that's doing, is it's going through here, it's going through this list first, so it goes project, oh wait, I can then do another for loop and go through that. However, in this sort of case, there's an empty array, so that will be fine. Also, sorry, I should answer your question about open source contributions and stuff like that for beginners. It depends what you find interesting. So find a project you find interested in and just start reading the code and so forth like that. And then, yeah, start contributing to the documentation of it. If you find any bugs, look at their issues and so forth like that. Try and find some beginner-friendly sort of issues that you can solve. Yeah, it's slow progress. Don't think you can just jump it straight into a project and be like, all right, cool, I'm going to submit a pull request today, because it takes a while to actually understand that code and so forth like that. Hey, that happens at a real life job too. When you join a company and stuff like that, you're going to be there a little while just learning the code and so forth like that. Anyway, we are in an ad break. So for those on YouTube at the moment, we run ads on Twitch every half an hour, so no one gets pre-rolled ads. Yeah, we're just in that sort of moment, and I really just do this so no one misses out on any content, and we can chat. And you on YouTube don't have ads, so yeah. So yeah. Oh, that's just Nightbot chatting to me. All right, cool. All right. We're about 35 seconds left of the ads. I don't know why Nightbot's working on YouTube, but not working on Twitch tonight. I'm hoping the Twitch chat is working. All right. It does look like it's working. And welcome back, everyone. So yeah. So going in here, that's just looping through all of that. And then what we've got is this.axios.post. Where we're posting, we'll find out in a second. And then we've got data to send. So we should have every little bit of information that we require to send to the backend. So we've got all the objects that we confirmed that we want to actually do the wipe in. We've shown the user all the stuff that's deleted. We don't need to send that into the backend whatsoever. We're just being like, all right, these are what's getting deleted. Okay, cool. So we're going to send this to this.root URL, and then it'll be GDPR wizard, and then we're going to have it go to submit. And then we're going to have a then, which will take the user somewhere. And I'm just wondering, we'll create that page. We'll add that code in a minute. But we do need a catch. And with the catch, we've got a this.$store.dispatch. We're dispatching a new toast. And the header will be error. All right, hang on. I want to also do this properly. So this $store.dispatch, dispatch a new toast. We've got a header is GDPR wizard deletion occurring. Message, please wait whilst we delete the data. Then we've got extra classes. That's going to be background warning. And then we've got the unique, that will be delay of 0, and then unique type will be GDPR submit. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, cool. So we've had an error. An error occurred whilst deleting data, and then go error. Easy done. We're going to change that to danger, and that should be it. Now we can do one where we just say deleted, and I think that will be good. And why data deleted. All right, cool. And what I'm going to do is disable the button. All right, so that's just to disable the button, and then essentially we do all of this. And then what we want to do is we want to go to a particular URL. So we want to go window.location.href equals, then we type in this and we go this.root URL, GDPR wizard success. All right, cool. And that's just going to be an empty page, being like, data being deleted. All right, so all right. That should be like that. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm just doing a yawn. I need to do the submitted, and I need to do the success page. And I'm just wondering, because I won't be able to last much longer at the moment because I need to go to bed early tonight. We did a release 5 days ago, so I don't need to do a release now. But yeah, we're getting pretty close. I mean, I can do one of the things. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to think how much of this I want to get done tonight. So the next step is just sending this to the backend and having the backend process it. And we can start that sort of process and then just send back a user being like, hey, this isn't completed at the moment. The idea is that because we're dealing with 3 different bits of data, and it does 3 different methods, that's easy. We just scoot the methods out and then we just process it and do the usual sort of stuff. Okay, so that being said, okay. I think I can start it. Let's get the form started. Let's get the form done. Sorry. And then let's get the methods in place. Let's comment out some of the methods if we can. We should also try and comment out the methods for the other methods and stuff like that. We've been a bit slack on good code practices. So, yeah, let's just get this sorted. Okay, URLs, here we are. So we've got the get data, we've got the search data, we've got now the, what did we say? It was going to be called submit. So path, GDPR, wizard, submit. Easy done. GDPR wizard views.gdpr submit. We're going to call it name equal GDPR submit. Easy done. We just got to now do this particular thing. That's going to be very, very easy to do. We're just going to go in here. We're just going to do this. We're going to scroll down. We've got the GDPR wizard. We're just going to go copy those 3. We're just going to bang that out like that. We're going to go wizard submit. Now, double checking this URLs, it's just GDPR submit. So this will need to go somewhere else. Not high, not far. It'll go there. All right. So GDPR wizard, what we want to do, HTTP response, need to fill out properly. Easy done. That's it at the moment. We're going to create the form. So we're going to go into here. We're going to go forms. We're just going to go GDPR object type form. We're going to do GDPR. All right, cool. So we've got a class GDPR object submit form, and that's just going to be forms.form. Easy done. In here, what we'll have is GDPR. Oh, this is, yeah, where we'll look back at this. We'll have project, requirement, requirement item, task, and we'll have these two. Now, this could extend this. Which it will, because it'll actually extend both of those. Alright, and the reason being is so I don't need to type out all these values and stuff like that. It's kind of like all set in stone. Then what I need to do, project equals forms.choice, multiple choice field. That will be multiple choice field, sorry. And the query set will equal project.objects.all. Every single object. Required is going to be false. So it's fine if it's blank. The next thing is we've got requirement equals forms.model multiple choice field. Query set equals, this will be requirement.objects.all. And required equals false. We then got requirement item equals forms.model multiple choice field. Query set equals requirement item.objects.all. Required equals false. And then we've got task equals forms dot model multiple choice field query set equals task dot objects dot all, and then required equals false. So that's all the data that we're passing through into this, which is going to be good. We need just an extra line up here. That's why that's throwing up some shade. Then with GDPR wizard, we're 506. So that will go down here, and then we've got GDPR object submit form, and then 506 back down here. We're going to go form equals GDPR submit form, and then we're going to go request.post. If not form dot is valid, we're going to send back a HTTP response bad request, and we're sending back the form dot errors. All right, easy done. So just having a quick think, sorry. So we got this, we got this. So depending what it is, depends what method we're going to do. So much like up here, we've got a if else sort of statement. when we actually move to 0.32, this is going to become a switch statement. Don't worry about that at the moment. Yeah, so going up here, you can see we've got a bunch of internal stuff in here. So get customer data. This won't be any more gets. This will actually be delete customer data. So up here, we're going to have internal function def delete customer data, and we're going to go GDPR object ID, and we're just going to return. That's perfectly fine. We're doing that because we're setting everything up for the next time I get to this. So probably next stream, I'll actually key all of this information out. We'll then sort of practice with it and see if we can actually delete a lot of data and stuff like that. We will have to write in unit tests for this. It does mean that I'll need to flesh out some more data with the fixtures and so forth like that, but that's not going to be a problem. Yeah, this should be, touch wood, fairly simple to do at this particular point, because what we're doing is we're just replacing certain values and stuff like that. So yeah, going in here, what we want is internal function. That's going to be def delete not customer, organization data. We've got the GDPR object ID coming through, and we're just going to return. And then we've got an internal function. We've got a def delete user data. We've got the GDPR object ID, and then once again we're just returning. So we've got all of that. Like so. We're gonna do all of that. Yeah, and then yeah, I've just got to do all of that too and stuff like that. And then we could potentially do something like this. So yeah, as you see, it's coming slowly together. We might have some code moving around and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I'm probably going to call it there. But before we do, let's actually submit this code. Let's go remove static. Let's go git status. So git add. We're going to go git commit. Finished the front end wizard. Now needs to finish the back end. So we're just going to git push that. And let's find someone to raid. Alright, we've got Caspian, chilled alert, get through. Alright, Anna, pirate software, game create, building a tool to think, I'm just wondering who we can raid. All right, let's raid Brent. He's working on Thirsty Princess, a game about delivering a beer to a thirsty princess. So, yeah. All right, cool. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. Yeah, we're almost finished this. I think, hopefully, touch wood, one more string to get it done. We will need to also do unit tests and all that kind of fun stuff. So, yeah. Yes, I will be around on Wednesday. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Let's key this off. Let's go over here and let's hit raid. And thank you very much, everyone in YouTube. Sadly, you won't be able to join us, but yeah, thank you very much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.